Destination Newry, you're welcome. Whether you're in Santiago or Savages around the corner, we greet you and say hello to you this morning. Ciara Lowe from Newry District Council, the Council Sports Development Officer.
That's right.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're going to talk about a roadshow.
I am. We're going to have a roadshow for our Sports Development Committee.
Wow.
And it's coming up next Tuesday in Newry Arts Centre. And we're going to bring along all the different clubs and coaches and teachers and anybody to do with sport.
And what's the purpose of it?
Well, to find out about how the Sports Development Committee works and what it can do for your club, basically.
Wow, you're a facilitator.
I am. I facilitate that committee, and I must say I quite enjoy working with that committee because they're a group of very dedicated people. They're very sports minded and they're not particularly devoted to their own sport. They want to develop all sports in Newry.
And of course, importantly from their point of view, you are a conduit for goodies that can come from council to them.
Well, yes.
That's a great thing.
It is.
You can advise them on grants.
That's it. There's a lot of funding information that comes through me to the committee.
If I were starting my own sort of row in hand sports club this morning, and there would be row in hand, row in hand, row in hand, and row in hand, because nobody else would sit with me if we were doing that. And I said to you, Ciara, tell me 2 things that I need to be aware of to make my sports club very successful. What would you say to me?
Well, my advice to you would be to come along to your local council and speak to your sports development officer, who would put you on the right road as to how to put your group together. And then sports NI would be a big help as well.
What do they do?
Well, Sport NI would be the governing bodies and people like that, and not just local government but big government funding for it, and a lot of information and stuff would come down through them to us. But
I might say to you, oh, I don't want the information, I want the moolah, I want the money. Where can I get money to buy my new sports hall?
Well, you have to do a little bit of work for that.
Yeah, but there are grants available.
There are grants available, capital grants, and there are basic funding grants, seeding grants available from your local council.
And this is something obviously the roadshow will deal with.
Yes, the roadshow will tell all about that, and we're going to have Dermot Russell along that evening to talk about funding, which would be his baby, really. He's absolutely brilliant at all that.
Dermot's the fellow of the Currachs.
He is the Currach. Now, he's a guy who started up, along with other people, of course. He had an interest in curras, and they've started to develop a small curra club, but they're building on it. Yeah, they
were out yesterday.
Were they?
The first hint of sunshine, and they're out.
Well, they're out all winter, rowing. I mean, they amaze me going out into. I wouldn't go out onto the tide, with the big choppy seas.
There was one. It was so rough and so violent. The waves one day they were out. They started off at 10 in the morning at the pier in Warren Point. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were in the lake on top of Slievegallion. Yes. They'd been blowing there.
My goodness. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. No, it's a fantastic
you give Dermot my
club.
regards.
I will indeed, Ron.
Because we chatted to them when they formed the club. Yeah. So sport in Newry, I would have thought sport in Newry is so well developed, it doesn't need any more development, that you've done your job so well, you've done yourself out of a job.
Well, that is wonderful, and we do see a lot of people participating, and the clubs and classes and groups that are all working really hard together. But there's always more can be done, and lots more clubs are starting to develop that need a lot of help. So basically you help people, they move on to bigger and better things, and then you start helping the next generation, if you like, or the next crop of new clubs.
Yeah. I think the thing that people, we're at this level. We haven't had any more Pat Jenningses coming along in football. Once there was Peter McParland way back in the far back days, then came Jennings. But we're not we have no more great golfing stars. And all of this is, maybe we're still putting down the roots, and maybe the flowering has still to come.
Yeah, but you're saying we don't have any of these people. We do. We've young Ryan from Warren Point.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the Pat Jennings is playing in first division football across the water.
No. But then Pat didn't start until he was 18 or so.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. That maybe we're growing the new people now.
Yes. Well, there are people. Yeah, there's a lot of talent.
What do we need to?
Well, we need good clubs. We need good clubs, good coaches, and the Sports Development Committee help out there as well, because through their partnership with the South Down, the Southern Sports Partnership, we put together a programme of development for coaches so that they can get child protection, they can get generic sports qualifications, and there's actually a lecture the day after the roadshow, which is going to be Wednesday the 9th of April, and it's a safe talk.
Yes.
And I know everybody likes to see absolutely famous people coming out of Newry and all the rest of it. They're few and far between. But having said that, it's all about active communities, basically. It's about getting people up and active and getting them away from the table and away out doing their exercises. So
I would do that on an ongoing basis, Ciara, if I could sort of go and make my ankles whole again. But the old joints get a bit slow when you get older.
For people with pains and aches, the swimming pool, I think you could not pass it. And
what's happened? The swimming pool, the new one has started, has
it?
And at what point will one close down for
the minute that the swimming pool is ready for people to walk in and swim in the new swimming pool,
the old one will close.
Will be knocked down and become a car park.
Wow. And where exactly in
the transition's going to be brilliant.
To the old one is the new one?
It's practically right beside it,
In the reservoir? Yeah. You call it Jennings Park.
Yeah.
We knew it as the reservoir.
Yeah.
And Pat Jennings, when he played there with me and Desi McCabe and the others, we used to put coats down, a coat there for goalposts. And who was between the coats? Pat Jennings. That's how it worked. But so what, if your deadline, what's the end? When does the new swimming pool come on?
Well, I imagine it'll be ready by Christmas of this year.
Wow.
Yeah. And the footprint then for the dry side is been prepared as we speak.
The footprint for the dry side, what does that mean?
That would be the sports halls and
are they going to be in the same location?
They are. It's going to be in the one.
Yeah, I remember seeing it at the time.
Which makes a lot of
some time
sense.
ago now. It does, of course. Yeah. And will you still be giving special rates to the old codgers?
I would hope so.
That would be very
because
important.
I'm getting along that way myself.
Oh no, you have a long, long way to go. So remind people of the roadshow date and the roadshow location and the safe thing that you're talking about as well. Okay.
The roadshow is on Tuesday the 8th in Newry Arts Centre at 7 o'clock. And the Safe Talk is on Wednesday. Safe Talk is important for people's mental health and everything like that. Coaches and teachers and volunteers working with people day and daily can pick up on signs, and people who have suicidal thoughts may, they genuinely want a bit of help. Yeah. And that's people like that are in a position to help. Yeah. And this sort of training just sort of.
And is that what the Safe thing is about? Helping vulnerable people.
It is. The Safe Talk is all about that. How to it sort of trains people in how to listen and talk and then direct them on, to get help for the person. So I'm sort of plugging it because I think it's very important.
It's a huge one to be involved in. You're very kind. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you, Rowan.
10 minutes goes very quickly.
Doesn't it?
Flies, I tell you. Andrew will now play us some more music.
Lovely.
Music, maestro, please.